Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and MMA trainer Firas Zahibi claims that he believes that Jake Paul is on PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs, and that's the reason why he might beat Tyron Woodley. I'm not sure if that's the case. He's young, he has a lot of energy. A lot of people claim that he is on coke. I don't know if that's the case, but who knows? This is what Zahibi says. Woodley could lose because Jake Paul is definitely on PEDs. He doesn't say, apparently it doesn't look like he says he thinks. He says he's definitely on PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. Firas Zahibi broke down the upcoming Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley boxing match, and the renowned MMA coach says he wouldn't be too surprised if the former UFC champion loses. This is a very tough fight for Tyron, Zahibi said on a recent AMA session. Why would Tyron Woodley possibly lose this fight? One, the guy he's fighting is bigger, and he's a big puncher. Zahibi went on to say that Woodley is a better boxer than Jake Paul, but being too passive and risk-averse could cost him. Woodley doesn't want to take that risk, even though he has that skill, Zahibi said. He executes in sparring, but he's a little bit gun-shy in actual fights, and that's true. It takes a little while sometimes to get him going, to throw that punch. He sometimes waits too long for the exact moment, though he has been training, and Woodley has always wanted to be a boxer apparently, and he has been training in boxing a lot as of late. And yeah, Zahibi even says he's a better boxer, but just being too passive and risk averse can hurt him. Okay. And apparently, I guess Jake Paul is 6 foot something, and he's pretty big. He's a pretty big guy, so he packs a good punch. So he thinks that Tyron being a little gun shy in the fight might cost him the fight. Okay, so here he goes on to say two things are going to happen. Either Jake Paul is going to move ahead on the scorecards against Woodley, or he's going to get knocked out by a counter right. I doubt Woodley knocks him out with any other punch. He knocks out a young, overly excited Jake Paul, who's overly confident, walks into his right hand and gets laid out. Is that a possibility? Absolutely. However, I do feel that Jake Paul holds the same weapon. He's got a devastating right hand, except Jake Paul is going to be more active with the same right hand. Either guy can get knocked out with the right hand, but Jake Paul is bigger, explosive, very athletic, Zahibi said. Because he's bigger, he could push around. He could bully a Tyron Woodley a little bit. So he thinks he's so much bigger that he could bully him around and push him around. I mean, I doubt that Jake Paul is as strong as Woodley. Woodley looks a little more cut up than Jake Paul. Obviously, size plays a role, but we shall see when the fight happens later this month. When asked about the drug testing situation in this fight, Zahibi revealed that when he kept on saying that Paul will be bigger and stronger, he was alluding to the YouTuber turned boxer using performance-enhancing drugs. And we got this picture, this photograph of Jake Paul up here, and he does look pretty big. But apparently, according to Jake Paul, he used to bale hay when he was younger, growing up, and that, makes you pretty big and strong if you're doing that on a daily basis or a lot when you're young. Okay, so he says his size, I didn't want to mention it, but my number one factor, Jake Paul's corner, they're going to be on all sorts of substances, Zahibi said. I don't think they test, maybe the week of the fight, but there's no USADA. I didn't want to say, but I think that's a major factor. When I say he's bigger and stronger and he's more athletic, I think he's basically on PEDs. I hate to say it, but I definitely think Jake Paul is going to be on PEDs. It exists in the world of boxing just like it exists in MMA, he said, and I don't think Tyron will be on PEDs. I think Tyron will be totally natural. Does it make a difference? It absolutely does. Zahibi said that Woodley will have a hard time, but he's still picking him to win, mainly because they've trained together in the past. He believes the first few rounds will be very dangerous for an overly tentative Woodley, but his fight experience could eventually help him in the later rounds. Paul, who is now 3-0 as a pro boxer, will fight a debuting Woodley on August 29th. So there you have it. Zahibi thinks that Jake Paul is on PEDs, and I wouldn't doubt it. Who knows what else he's putting in his body? Usually when people aren't afraid to do things like cocaine. Not saying that Jake Paul does it, but it's been claimed when people are willing to ingest these types of things, then I'm sure PEDs would be no problem for them to do. I'm not saying he's on it, because who knows, but it is a possibility, and Firas Zahibi thinks so. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Jake Paul is on PEDs, steroids, or what have you? Let me know in the comments. Jake Paul, yeah, who knows? We'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited to see this and see who's going to win. I'm sure a lot of people are, since Jake Paul has been winning lately. And when I'll take him seriously as a boxer is when he faces adversity, when he gets knocked down, when he gets dropped, when he gets punched in the chin, he falls to the canvas, gets back up, and keeps fighting. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he will get up and keep fighting, but who knows? And until then, I'm not going to take him as a serious fighter, a serious boxer. But we shall see later this month. Thanks for watching. Take care. Keep training. Stay strong. Talk to you later. Bye.